Hi, this is Master Ninja 06, and I'm going to be discussing a little bit about the Scorpio Ascending sign, since there isn't very much on the internet or on YouTube about the Scorpio Ascending sign. I know there's a couple videos, a very good set done by you, DOSF1. I appreciate what you've added, but I need to do my own version because I'd like to express myself on it. Um, first of all, I'd like to add and point out that my sun sign is Pisces in the fourth house, so that's gonna obviously affect it. And I also have a Scorpio moon sign, so with that being said, the tendencies to reflect the Scorpio traits and internal perceptions of a Scorpio, I think, are a lot higher and more intense. But anyways, at any rate, um, the ascending sign is the sign found on the eastern horizon when the sun is rising. The sun passes through each sign of the zodiac. Every 2 hours it changes. Now, depending on what time of year you were born, the sign is going to vary by degrees and what time it enters into that specific time. I was born at 10:12 p.m. in St. Charles, Illinois, March 7th, 1988. So my ascending sign follows into Scorpio. Now, being born in 1988, my ascending sign is coupled with my moon sign and Pluto in Scorpio. So this also affects my ascending sign. Now, in astrology, the ascending sign is also called the rising sign, and they say it is your mask, the facade you put on whenever you step out into the real world. This is how people perceive you. This is how you first come off to people. It also affects the way you look. Now, I've noticed in Scorpio ascending, particularly for the males, we have a very strong jawline, like a broad chin, and like we have a heavy brow with really dark eyebrows, and also that we have a very deep and penetrating gaze. Um, Now, whenever, let's say, a Scorpio ascending person walks into a room, you get this vibe from them that they're a passionate person, they're intense, and usually they have a sense of their destiny. They're very involved in the occult and metaphysical matters. Which astrology, that's one of them, both occult and metaphysical. There is a tendency to be, let's say, really involved in one's undertakings. What you're involved in, you're deeply involved in. You have the tendency to not take anything at face value. Myself personally, I definitely look for the underlining meaning in anything. I think that there's a purpose to everything, and nothing happens without a reason. So, with that being said, I'm going to be thinking, what's this person saying this for, or why am I here? What's the lesson to be learned in this? Um, Another thing is that a Scorpio ascending person, particularly, isn't easy to live with. I found that out with myself. Funny how things are usually in black or white. There's no gray, really, no middle ground. I've read that Scorpio ascending views life as a battleground, and that's true for me, definitely. Another way that I perceive this in myself is that I can feel the energy and the vibes that I put off with other people. I feel how they observe me and how basically, what I put off to them, it's just like I'll go into any given situation and I'm like, oh, that's my ascending sign, that's my mask, like they, you know, you get certain looks from certain people, you don't jive with everybody. And I think that's because some of them are intimidated by the truth that you have, the what you bring to the table, because not a whole lot of people anymore are genuine. I think a lot of people are superficial, and that's another thing with me. Like, I don't really enjoy small talk. I don't partake in it. I'm like, what's the point of this? What's the purpose of this? Oh, how's the weather doing? And how have you been? All right, or like, what's up? And it's like, I'm shopping in the supermarket, or shit like that is kind of really annoying to me, because there is a point in it, I guess, but it's like a really small point. And I think the point is that Scorpio people have the tendency to have a cool, calm, reserved shell. A scorpion, the sign, is a creature who has an exoskeleton, and that typically is their armor. So as a Scorpio ascending person, we have armor, and I would like to say, don't let that fool you. We may appear calm, cool, and reserved on the surface, but underneath that surface, underneath that armor, there is a inner dialogue of intense thoughts and feelings and notions. There's always something going on underneath the surface, and I think that's why I said that Scorpio ascending people don't take anything at face value. So another thing that I'm gonna touch on is the Scorpio moon and the Pluto in Scorpio. Let me start out with the Scorpio moon is actually in detriment in the moon sign. The exalted sign is Taurus, and the opposite sign of Taurus is Scorpio. So naturally, that is in its fault. It is in its detriment. So people with the Scorpio moon have the hardest emotional dilemmas there are, because naturally water likes to flow. It likes to move. If you think about water being in a bucket or an old pond or a marsh or a swamp, that's what the Scorpio moon is essentially. The moon sign is directly linked to Cancer. The moon rules Cancer. So with Pisces and Cancer, the water is moving. But with Scorpio, you can get this image of a marsh, a swamp, or the waters that lie deep within a pond or a swamp or whatever, and basically, it's stagnated. It's our goal as a Scorpio moon to move that water, circulate it, move it up to the surface, from the depths. And that phrase, still waters run deep, that's definitely a Scorpio moon saying. Scorpio moon loves to have intense relationships, emotional relationships. We crave emotional diversity and satisfaction. You don't want somebody to just be your friend, just as like, in any superficial means. You want someone to be your friend for life. You want to be able to talk to that person about anything, anytime, anywhere, and you expect the truth out of them. Another thing about the Scorpio moon is that it is also a very, very good teacher, and anything with Scorpio has to deal with truth, I would say, and the occult again, and metaphysics, and Scorpio moon is a very fascinating and interesting sign to me, and this goes for anything in astrology, but no matter how much you read and how much you talk to other people, you'll never know the ultimate truth. You'll never get to the bottom of it, because honestly, astrology has a lot to do with your own personal perception. It's just like God and politics. Like everybody has their own version of God and politics and their own perfect world per se. Everyone perceives things differently. We're all unique creation, and we're all little, let's say, clocks. And whenever you were born, that's when your clock was set, and everybody's clocks are set differently. Another thing is that your astrological portrait or your natal chart cannot be repeated within, I think it's 26,000 years. So if you think about it, every single human is extremely unique and valuable.